It feels like everything is completely different now. I'm at a loss as to what videos I can or even should make. We need to talk about strange parts. But first, I need some tea.
Not used to this. I don't know how to act, don't know how to adapt to this situation. Not used to this, no I'm not. But better let myself give in to love. Not used to this, no I'm not. It was like if we were to waste these moments, they're like poets to me. You getting into my brain. I feel emotionally drained. You getting into my brain. You getting into my brain. You're new to me.
A lot of you have been reaching out to check in to see if I'm okay. I'm fine. I've been in self-isolation for the past 4 weeks now, and I've been in the US since Christmas, so I'm pretty sure I'm not sick, and I'm working really hard to stay that way. But a ton has changed in the past few months for me. In fact, nearly just about everything in my life has changed. And I imagine things have changed a lot for you too. I think everybody's dealing with a lot of change, and yeah, some of that stuff's been in the works for a while. In December, I went back to China to shoot, and you guys have been seeing a lot of the videos that have come out. I shot a lot of factory videos, and the other part of that trip was to really figure out, do I really want to set up like a full office and workshop in China again? I tried to do that last year and it didn't work out for several reasons. And I decided I don't want to do that. And it's a hard decision, and it's one I'm still wrestling with, and I'm still sad about. But as of March 1st, I rented a house in Phoenix. And so I officially live in the US again. I own furniture again for the first time in 5 years, which is super strange. And yeah, the plan was to keep traveling and shooting, both in China and other places, be gone for 4 to 6 weeks at a time. But I really wanted a home base, and I realized I wasn't totally happy with my life in China in many ways. I wanted to eat more healthy food, and I don't know, Shenzhen's a place that everybody comes to seek their fortune, and nobody really wants to settle down there for the long run. And so it's just kind of this revolving door of people, and you make friends and then they leave in a year or two, and dating was equally hard. And it was a lot of fun for, the 3 or 4 years I was there. And I still want to go back, and I still want to spend a lot of time there. But I realized I was kind of looking ahead, and I was looking at, do I really want to settle down and make a life here for the next 5 or 10 years? And there are parts of me that so badly want to do that. I wanted to set up the coolest workshop factory space in Shenzhen, and there are a million more videos I want to make there. And yet I just was having a really hard time with the personal side of it, of, what happens when I'm not working and when I'm off camera. And I decided that I really would like to have a home and a life here in the US still. And so, yeah, right now, Phoenix is home. And we'll see what happens from there. The plan was to keep traveling to China and to other places. I had trips planned to tentatively to Nigeria and India and Bangladesh and Vietnam this year, as well as obviously going back to China for at least a few months. And all of that is now off the table, and I'm kind of at a loss for what to do. I wanted to do a whole bunch more factory tours. I wanted to do a bunch more exploration and kind of adventurous industrial travel in all of these new places. And I don't know if or when I'll be able to do that again. And it's been this gradual closing down. You know, in January, obviously I knew something was up. I was watching what was going on in China. And I decided, okay, I'm not going back to China anytime soon. And then I had a trip planned to Vietnam in February, and I canceled that. And I decided, okay, I'm not going to do any more international travel for the time being. And then by March 1st, I arrived in Phoenix, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to fly on planes anymore right now. That doesn't feel safe. And now I'm self-isolated along with, you know, a lot of other Americans. And I very much think that's the right thing. I think it's the safe thing. I'm relatively young and healthy still, and I personally don't want to get it. I really think it's pretty bad, and I've read a lot of the reports, and I don't think it would be at all a good time, and potentially would have long-lasting health effects. But also I'm in a situation where I'm close to some people with compromised health, and it would be quite a bit more dangerous for them to get it, potentially fatal. And so it's really changing my risk tolerance around getting sick, and that's obviously changing my desire to travel. So yeah, I'm really hunkered down. And now we're in New Mexico on a very rural Native American reservation. We don't know if we can get packages delivered. This all, I imagine, seems pretty weird and maybe extreme, but given some of the unique peculiarities of our situation and some health issues, not mine, but some other people that I'm living with, this made the most sense. The net result is that I have no idea what I'm doing with Strange Parts right now at all. All of the content that I had planned for the next few months, 6 months, is stuff that I can't do right now. A lot of it I can't do anyway. And so I'm a bit lost. And so I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like, I'm really aimless, and definitely been getting to my head. But I also realized that I owe it to you and myself to reconnect with you and to continue to put stuff out there, to continue to make things and put them out into the world. And so I'm just going to experiment. I don't quite know what I'm going to be able to make. I have pretty limited resources and access to tools and interesting things right now. But I'm going to see what I can do, and I'm just going to experiment and throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And so I think as part of that, now is a good time to end season 2 of Strange Parts and start season 3, whatever that ends up being here. And so one of the things I'd like to do is solicit ideas from you, given that I have limited access to receive packages, I have limited tools and supplies, and I am pretty much stuck either indoors or out in the woods. What videos would you like to see me make? If you have ideas, I'd love to hear them. Leave them down in the comments below. I have a few ideas. I have some very old footage, pre-Strange Parts, that I have been dusting off. And so I have at least one video to show you. It was part of the zygote of the idea of Strange Parts, and I shot it before I even really knew that I was starting a new YouTube channel. I was just playing around. It's a tour of a factory in China, and I think you guys might enjoy that. We're gonna re-edit it, since I didn't know much about editing video back then, and I don't have a copy of that edit. I just have some of the raw footage. We're trying to dig up the audio portion of that. I have the audio out of the camera, but we have some live mics. I also have a handful of things, some things that I was given at CES, some things that I ordered in the mail, some things that you sent me that I'd like to show you and maybe even take apart or try and do a project with. I have some tools and supplies here, but not at all what I normally have, particularly what's in China. And then I have at least one video that I recorded in China in December on my last trip there that we haven't released yet. We're editing that now, so I'll share that with you. And then lastly, I guess I just want to acknowledge how lucky I feel. This, I keep saying crazy, but I've never been in any situation like this, as I imagine most of you haven't either. And it kind of feels unprecedented, bizarre, scary. And I feel particularly lucky. I have a job that I can do more or less from everywhere. It's obviously really different right now. But I have a lot of experience working from all sorts of different places, working from home. I don't have an office I have to go to. I don't have work I have to go to right now. And I have the luxury of ramping back my work a little bit, or even taking a break entirely. And most of all, I'm grateful to have been invited to a place that's relatively removed from populated areas, that's quite a bit safer than being, say, in New York City or San Francisco. And that feels like a big gift right now. And I'm very grateful to have that opportunity, and very grateful to the tribe for allowing me to stay here. And I wanted to acknowledge that you might not have those same luxuries. You might still be having to go to an office or go to work. You might be laid off or out of work. You might be stuck in an apartment all by yourself and getting lonely and bored and maybe a little bit crazy. You might be having to cook for yourself more than you ever have. I know I'm doing a lot more cooking than I ever have. I am proud to say that I successfully baked bread for the first time this week, which came out well. You might be stuck in a house or an apartment with a bunch of people that are driving you crazy. And I just want you to know that my heart goes out to you wherever you are, whatever your situation is. This is not easy. It hasn't been easy for me. Those of us, the people I'm living with, we've been joking that everybody gets their turn to have a meltdown, and I certainly had one last night. I'm struggling with a lot of crisis of meaning and purpose, and what should I be doing with my life? And I imagine that you might be having some of those similar concerns and worries and fears, and I just want to let you know that my heart goes out to you. This is a crazy, bizarre time to be alive in the world, and it's one that's filled with fear and uncertainty and this deep sense of powerlessness, and we're all in it together. I will see you again soon. I do have a list of videos planned, and I hope that you'll have a lot more suggestions for me. If you have suggestions, things you'd like me to make, leave them in the comments below. I'll see you again soon. I'm going to try and put out a video next week is my plan. We'll see how that goes. I'm trying not to be too hard on myself to put out content super frequently, but I want to be with you during this time, and I want to share what's going on in my world, and hopefully give you a little bit of entertainment and distraction from the worries in your life. I'm Scotty from Strange Parts. Stay tuned. I'll see you again soon.